Right, okay, survey responses. People have been asking me for the results for like over 2 months. I have been dropping the ball. I actually did film this video before and I accidentally formatted the card before. Well, actually no, the card got corrupted and then all the footage was lost. So I'm going to do it again. And then once I've done this video, I'm never talking about the survey again. Some of these are quite interesting though, and I hope that you are also interested. So I have 30,204 responses, which is an awful lot for a survey. Scientific researchers would kill for those kind of numbers, so thank you. And most people answered all of the questions, so you can assume that like these results are from about like 28,000, 29,000 people. So when it comes to age, the most popular age of all of you guys is 16 years old. 12.8% of you are Thank you. 12.8% of you are 16. 12.1% of you are 17. 11.3% of you are 18. 8.8% of you are 19. 11% of you are 15. 8.3% of you are 14. 5.6% of you are 13. And then the rest are kind of negligible. There's like 7% of you are 20. 5% of you are 21, 3.7% of you are 22, and the rest are like slithers that you can't even see. Shout out to the 67 people who are over the age of 50 who watch me. I am not trying to be ageist, I'm simply questioning why you're watching a 25-year-old girl. That's all. Unless you're my dad, in which case you can totally stay because I love me my daddy. If you're not my dad on that motorcycle, I'm gonna be mad. 79% of you said your primary language is English. That is probably good because that's the only language that I know. 2.6% of you, your primary language is Dutch. 750 people, that's the second highest result, I think. Oh no, the second highest result is German, which is 3%. 3% of you are German. Or like, I guess, from a German-speaking country. 1.8% of you have Spanish as your primary language. 1.9% of you are Swedish, or at least that's your primary language. I'm not sure why I'm popular in Sweden. 44.2% of you live in the UK. I'm sorry to hear that. 20.5% of you live in the US. 6.1% of you live in Australia. That's awful, and you hear that all the time. I apologize. 2.5% of you live in Germany. Again, I don't know why I'm big in Germany. 3.3% of you are Canadian. When it comes to gender, this one's quite interesting. 56.9% of you identify as female. Now, I do want to say, I didn't get to say this in the video because well, I'd already published the survey by the time the video went up. I did put transgender as a gender. I apologize for that. I cannot apologize enough for that. Basically, I took the survey options from my friend who had been in charge of another survey and I didn't look over it enough times and I didn't see it. Obviously, if you are transgender, you do identify as a gender, and it shouldn't have been an option. I didn't mean to make anyone feel weird. That said, 1.3% of you did say that you do identify as transgender. So 56.9% of you are female, or at least identify as such. 34.7% of you identify as male. Hello, NerdCubed fans. 2.8% of you are non-binary. 2.5% of you are genderqueer, gender fluid. Oh, 0.2% of you are bigender. Shout out to those 72 people who are pretty cool. Sexual orientation. 46.7% of you, the majority, are heterosexual. That is to be expected, I suppose. Although, to have it as less than half is very interesting. I remember when I was a kid, we were always told like, oh, 1 in 10 people are gay. Like that was the statistic, 1 in 10. I feel like that barrier, now that there's not such a clear line between gay and straight, you know, like that I was taught as a kid. I feel like more people were just realizing that they're a bit more fluid with their sexuality, and it's kind of nice that the pie chart is like, it's kind of in a rainbow, which is pretty great. 7.7% of you are homosexual. 19.3% of you are bisexual. 10.9% of you identify as pansexual. 10.2% of you said, I'm not sure. There is no rush to find out. You are fine the way you are. Don't look for answers. They will come to you naturally. Or you can just be confused like me all of the time. And that's also okay. Boxes are for flat pack furniture. I don't know. 3% of you are asexual. And 1.4% of you are other. I'm sorry if I missed out things that weren't on a certain spectrum. I apologize for that. What is your relationship status? 71.7% of you are single. Please all hook up. Without me, preferably. Because there's going to be some comments like, oh, you say we should date someone, can I date you? No, you can't. No, you cannot date me. 20.7% of you are in a relationship. I'm so happy for you. That sounded really sarcastic, but I am genuinely happy for you. I kind of miss those days. Sometimes. Not all the time, though. 3.2% of you said it's complicated. Well, I hope that it has been sorted out for you by now. You know, some others engaged, open relationship, married. They're really, really small percentages. So that's probably because you're all 16. So that'll be why. Have you been formally diagnosed with any of the following conditions? So these are things that I asked you guys, you know, have you been to a doctor? Have you been diagnosed with anything? I think maybe a few people have said to me that they didn't realize that I meant diagnosed by a doctor. So this one might be a bit skewed. 41.4% of people said they haven't been diagnosed with any like mental condition, but 36.2% of 27,000 people said they've been diagnosed with anxiety. A third of you have been diagnosed by a doctor with anxiety. If that is a true number that hasn't really been skewed, and it doesn't include people who have just gone, oh, I have anxiety, tick, 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 that's astonishing. Like, that's scary. And 32.3% of you also have been diagnosed with depression. A third of the people who did the survey, 8,841 people, said they've been diagnosed with depression. I guess like in their lifetime. I don't know if this is like current. I should have probably said, you know, currently have or something like that. But that's a lot of people to be depressed. That's really sad. I don't like the idea of like a third of the people who watch me. Let's say it's like a general kind of consensus, you know, like the thought of like a third of the people who watch me being unhappy mentally, like chemically in the brain, makes me very sad. What is your diet? As much as I do not like talking about diets on this channel, I will talk about your diets happily. Also, alright, I will touch on this. I am no longer vegan. Please don't make it a big deal. I'm begging you. But I had to just say that because people were asking in my weekly vlog, like, why are you buying eggs? You know, did I just see you drink real milk? Yes, you did. I don't want to make a big thing of it, please. I don't like dairy. I don't eat milk and cheese usually, and I don't eat red meat. That is my diet right now. Please don't kill me. Anyway, what is your diet? 77.2% of people said anything. They're not fussy. They'll eat meat. They'll eat fish. They'll eat eggs. Everything. 11.9% of people said they are vegetarian. 3.4% of people are pescatarian, which is healthy, by the way, very healthy. And for all of this, like, uprising that people seem to be mad about, like, oh, everyone's trying to be vegan for a trend, only 3.3% of people say that they are vegan. So for everyone complaining like, oh, everyone's trying to be vegan now, oh, vegans are so annoying, there's so many of them, there's only 3% of my viewers at least are vegan. They are a very noisy, loud 3%, but it is only 3% of people. Which I guess really, for people who would say they're vegan, that's quite a sad statistic. They'd probably like to raise that. What is the main belief system that you follow? This one, I don't really want to talk about religion. Really, this was just one that I was quite interested in. But I will say 31.3% of people don't have a religion. That's absolutely cool with me. Like, I am religious, but that's cool with me. You do whatever the hell you want to do. Again, I copied the responses from my friend's survey. So we had like atheism, agnosticism. So combined with none, agnostic, and atheist, we have about 72% of people either don't believe in God, or they hate the idea of God, or they don't know if there's a God. And that means that like the 28% of people left are religious. So a third of people who watch me follow religion, and that includes 7.5% of people identify as Catholic, 5.4% of people are Protestant, 6.2% of people are of other Christianity, and then we have 2.3% of people other, Flying Spaghetti Monster, and others that I accidentally forgot. Prefer not to say, there's quite a few prefer not to say. 2.6% of people didn't want to talk about it. Understandable. 1.8% of people follow Islam. 1.1% of people identify as Buddhists. 0.6% of people follow Judaism. 0.4% of people follow Hinduism. So there you go. It's a pretty good spectrum. you know, obviously there's a lot of people who don't believe in a God. Like I said, that's cool with me. Don't, you know, shout off horrible things at me for possibly thinking there is a dude up there. Well, I do believe there's a dude up there, a cool dude, but like, I'm not gonna tell you to believe stuff, so please don't tell me that what I believe is stupid, and we will get along absolutely cool. What is your employment status? 68.9% of you are students. 68.9% of you. That is a huge demographic to tap into. You can expect some more things you didn't know about university videos, I'm sure. Things we hate about the cafeteria. 8.5% of people are employed part-time. 9% of people are employed full-time. 8.1% of you are unemployed. I hope that you are able to remedy that soon. 2% of you are self-employed. Repping up the self-made women and men, but mostly women, as we now know. 1.1% of you are disabled or unable to work. Some of you prefer not to say. 1.1% of you are apprentices. Anyway, look, this will get into very small numbers. 5.9% of you said that your job sector is art, music, or writing. So actually, like, I know that sounds like a small percentage. 6% of you are the creative type, but that's actually a lot. Compare that to like 50 years ago where like being a creator like just wasn't possible or like just feasible, you couldn't do it. That's really cool. Because like 58.6% of you said that you were students. So 4% of you work in sales and marketing. Been there, my friend. 3.6% of you work in technology. 2.3% of you work in education. Shout out to my 634 teachers. You work hard and I appreciate you. And I'm sorry that I was a bad student. 2.4% of you, 676 people, work in science or engineering. Then why have you not built me a Tesla car? How much time do you spend on the internet per day? The majority of people, 31.5%, say 4 to 6 hours a day. That's a long time to spend on the internet. Please go and do something else. 10.4% of you said you spend 8 to 10 hours on the internet per day. That's nearly half of your day. Please stop that. Oh, 11.1% of you said more than 10 hours. That's probably damaging your body now. 21.5% of you said 2 to 4 hours. I think that's probably a healthy amount. 1 to 2 hours, the golden kids. 4% of you said 1 to 2 hours. Tiniest little slither that I've just seen. 0.4% of people said 0 to 1 hours a day. And you spent it on my survey. Well, I appreciate that. 51.4% of you said that you spend 0 to 1 hours playing video games per day. So I'm going to take that as like, you don't play video games. I should have had that as an option. But half of you aren't gamers, which is probably why my gaming channel, also because I don't upload on it, probably why the gaming channel didn't really work too well. Notice how I said past tense, I'm sorry. 20% of you spend a couple of hours per day. I recently got Breath of the Wild, so I am joining the 6 to 8 hours, 3.2% of you who are having their lives ruined right now. How much time do you spend watching TV shows or movies per day? 32.7% of you, the majority, said 0 to 1 hours, so you barely watch TV or movies. Same, brother. 31.2% of you said you watch TV or movies for like 1 or 2 hours a day. Why would you do that when you can just watch my weekly vlogs, which are 1 to 2 hours in length now? How much time do you spend listening to music per day? This one is way more scattered out. The majority is 25% of people saying 1 to 2 hours per day. Shout out to the 5.4% of people who listen to music for 10 plus hours a day. I consider myself a musician and I couldn't do that, so kudos to you for loving music that much. What music do you listen to? So the majority of people put alternative, but I think that's also because I put the 21 Pilots logo next to the word alternative so that people would know the kind of music that I meant. And that's the majority. 63.3% of people listen to 21 Pilots. I mean, that means that 63.3% of people have an amazing choice of music. 55.1% of people listen to pop, which is interesting. I've been listening to a lot more pop recently. Like, I've been really into some good pop music. I think my future music, after this new EP that's coming out in a few months, is going to be a lot more pop based. We're going to strip back on the band stuff and we're going to go more pop. Because I'm enjoying it, you know, I'm enjoying it a lot more. 49.4% of you listen to singer-songwriter or acoustic, so that's great, half of you are Dodie fans. 34.3% of you listen to metal or heavy rock. I didn't expect that, actually. Maybe I should have done, but I just didn't. I don't know. That's a lot of metalheads I have watching me. How much time do you spend reading books per day? 42.1% of you said 0 to 1 hours a day, and 27.6% of you said none. If you were someone that answered none, that you don't read any books per day, try to change that. Not in a rude way, just like that's something that you can just change about your life that will benefit you in the long run. Just read a little bit, couple of pages of a book per night, and just see how you go with it. Reading is a fantastic thing. And also, if you don't want to start right away, you can start on September 7th. I really need to write that fucking book. Okay, these are the questions about me now. So some of these results are quite frustrating. Not frustrating. Some of them, they're fine. 97.7% of you follow me on YouTube. I would be surprised if 0.3% of people really didn't find this through a YouTube video, but okay. Although there are some people who follow me on Twitter that say they don't watch my YouTube, they just think my Twitter's funny, which is so weird to me. Like, why would you follow a YouTuber with like slightly relatable tweets, but like most of their things are just gonna be moaning about YouTube? Like, don't just... It's weird. 61.8% of you follow me on Twitter. You should change that if you don't, because that is by far my most used social media website. If you want to know everything that's going on with me, any updates like why a video's late or what I'm gonna film, etc., Twitter is the place to find out. Don't be an egg though. Come talk to me. Come and have a chat. 47.2% of you follow me on Instagram. Thank you. I do think my Instagram game is good. What websites do you usually check for updates? 94.4% of people use YouTube to check for updates. That's worrying. You really should use things like Twitter, because at least tweets go through to everybody, unlike sub boxes and notifications on the YouTube. Do you use an ad blocker? This result is like... It's like talking dirty to me. 55.8% of people said no. You don't use adblock. Thank you for not using adblock on me. I will admit, I do own adblock. I do have it. I do whitelist an awful lot of YouTube channels, ones that I love and support very much. And if you also use adblock, which is fine by me because I use it, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't like it, please consider whitelisting me. I'd really appreciate it. You don't have to, but it's a cool way of supporting me, I guess. I might get a Patreon one day, possibly, for those people who say like, I want to use adblock because I hate being sold to, because I'm one of those people, but they still want to support me, so I might get a Patreon. I don't know, like, I can't do rewards because I'm useless at things like that. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. 20.4% of you said yes on all websites. You horrid people. No, I don't want companies selling to me. Ads are annoying. Yeah, they're annoying, but they help businesses. You know, they help people get paid. Consider not being a dick and realizing that not everything comes for free in this world, please. Thank you. I do this entertainment stuff for free. I don't ask you to buy my videos. So in exchange, if you could just, you know, take part in like 20 seconds of your time to just watch a crap ad about nappies or something rubbish, I'd appreciate it. But 17.9% of people said yes, but I disable it for websites and YouTubers I like, including me. Thank you. That's like a great result there. How did you first hear about Emma? 42.5% of you found me through a recommended video on YouTube. So in the sidebar or on the browse, like home function thing or trending, like you found me on there, like nearly half of you. That is so crazy to me. 6% of you found me through a viral video, so Google Plus or the tampons ones, which is, you know, cool, I guess. Only 6% though, which is interesting to me that, you know, you think a video's gone viral, but doesn't really affect you all that much. 15.7% of you found me through word of mouth. Hopefully good words, I don't know. 14.2% of you found me through NerdCubed, and that would explain why some of my comments, well, all of my sexual comments have gone up by 14.2%. Not everyone is creepy, but I definitely got a certain male audience when I started making videos with Dan, which I don't really appreciate all that much, but you know, if you're nice, that's great. 18.5% of you found me through another YouTube collaboration. I don't know what that would have been. Let me know in the comments below how you found me. Like what video, or did you find me in the sidebar, or did you hear someone bitching about me on Twitter and thought, I'm gonna check this girl out. Actually, she's not that horrible. Which of Emma's channels do you watch? 97.9% of people said they watch my main channel. That's really nice. And 67.5% of people said they watch this channel. Like, to have a 2/3 overlap, which does make sense with the views I'm getting, that's really cool. Maybe one day this will become my main channel where I'm just always on here, uploading every day, and people will be like, I love this laid back kind of non-comedy, Emma. People have been saying that about my weekly vlogs, actually. They said they like seeing like a more real side of me, so who knows? 39.5% of you said you watch my gaming channel. I'm not really fussed about this result anymore because, as you can tell, I have pretty much stopped using my gaming channel. I think probably for good now. I think I am going to move over to Twitch just for live streaming. I find it easier, but it is going to be hard doing like PlayStation games, so I don't really know how to Don't even know how to do that without a delay, so I guess we'll find out. How often do you watch Emma Blackery videos? So, main channel. 47.2% of you said you watch every single video on my main channel. Thank you so much for supporting me that much. To have nearly half of you saying that you will watch every video that I upload without fail, and that's 29,908 people who responded to that. So that's an amazing demographic to have, like, half of you. That's great. 39.9% of you said whenever a video looks interesting, which I'm going to take as a little bit of tea, but, you know, that's also fine. Because there are videos in my sub box where I'm subscribed to someone and I'll just be like, yeah, I might watch that. I don't know, you know, if there's nothing else. You know, I don't mean it rudely to the person that created the video at all, so I'm not taking it as an insult. Maybe I would have done a couple years ago, but not now. 6.1% of people said whenever I remember, which is nice. 161 people said I don't watch this channel, so I think some trolls found this survey. How often do you watch Blackery videos? 26.8% of you are my faves and say you watch every video on here. Maybe that's gone up since, I don't know, or maybe it's gone down, but that's awesome. 37.3% of people said whenever the video looks interesting. 18% of people said they don't watch this channel. That makes sense. Birdie Boots, the majority of people said I don't watch this channel. 43.5% of people don't watch Birdie Boots, which I will take on board because I just, you know, like I said, I'm not really fussed about it anymore, so you know. How do you hear about new videos? 78.4% of people hear about my new videos on the YouTube subscriptions page. They said they visit their subscriptions page. So I guess, like, if I upload a new video, if it goes in the sub box, you'll see it. But the problem with that is, if it doesn't go in the sub box, you won't know I uploaded. So please follow me on Twitter. That is how you will know that I've uploaded a new video. Join the 31.9% of people who are totally on their game. 34.9% of people have me on notifications, like upload notifications. Thanks for that. When did you start watching Emma? Ooh. The majority of people started watching me in 2013. That would make sense because that is when my channel started to really snowball. I went from, I think, like 20k to over 500,000 subscribers in a year. So that would make a lot of sense that most people found me during that time. 23.6% of people found me in 2014. 16.6% of people found me in 2015. I suppose that's because I had quite a few viral videos in that year. 13.9% of people found me last year, which is interesting because I didn't really upload much last year. But 12.9% of people said they found me in 2012 or earlier. I don't believe it's 12.9% of people. I think they're just trying to butter me up a little bit. The amount of people who are like, I've been watching you since the 50 Shades of Grey videos, and I'm just like, bitch, like, I had 100 views on every one of those videos until one of them, like, blew up. Like, don't do this. You're definitely not one of the 100 people. I mean, maybe you are, in which case you are the golden child. But, no. Okay, favorite videos for my main channel. I gave people the option of picking 3 only, no more and no less. So here we go. These are, well, I mean, this is up until last year, so this is like, you know, quite behind now. This is like 3 months ago. But my most liked video, my most popular video, according to you guys, was Emma Blackery, Queen of Jump Cuts, which I am so happy about because I love that video. I'm so proud of that one. That's like one of my favorites by far. I just think the comedy in that one, personally for me, took my own horn a bit. I think that one was just spot on. I thought that was so funny. The whole microphone commentary thing, like, I do miss doing those. I am probably gonna just, you know, sprinkle them here and there, like seasoning, because I do miss making them, and they're quite easy to do. So, you know, it would be nice to just have videos like that going up every now and then, I think. What do you think? Did you like them? Well, I guess I'll find out. My second most popular video, according to this survey, was awkward sexy teenage moments. Are you kidding me? That is one of my worst, most cringy videos ever, and I hate it. It's literally me with a really strong Essex accent, looking really washed out, saying about how I had sex when I was 16. Great, how exciting, woo. It is such a rubbish video and I don't know why people like it so much. To be honest, it's natural to look back at your old stuff and cringe because you've grown as a person. Like, my voice has changed, my life has changed, and now I look back at those videos like, oh God, why did I say that? I thought I was so funny. But I accept that it's different for you, that's totally cool. Joint third was how to queef. Drunk Q&A, which is the one I did when I had an awful lot of vodka, and my thoughts on Google+. I get it. I get why people like the Google+ video. It was like, you know, a sassy resistance thing done with a catchy song. I get it. but that doesn't mean I can't hate the damn thing. I'm feeling my stress levels just rising as I think about the Google Plus song, because it's just kind of annoying that that's like my second most viewed video, but that's the one that I put like the least effort into. I wrote that in 10 minutes while running a bath and just recorded it in one go. I guess it's just, you just never know what's gonna go viral. You just don't know what's gonna be popular. You can try and predict trends all you like, but you never get it spot on, and that's a perfect example of that. But I'm never singing it live again, so sorry to be that guy. And behind that, which I'm really happy about, I'm really happy about this, was my very basic history of North Korea video with 6.4%. 1,824 people are my faves for choosing that, because that video means an awful lot to me, that so many people watched it and listened to it, and they got like an idea of the history of North Korea, and they kind of get the gist of what the media is saying about it and how it can, you know, sometimes be wrong, and just, oh, it's great. Thank you so much for choosing that one. I love that. I am, for everyone who has been asking, I am gonna make more videos on North Korea on this channel. I'm gonna talk about like the books that I've read, and like my favorite books and which ones to get started with, etc. And also, like, I'm thinking of doing like a Mythbusters kind of like, you know, is what they're saying really true, and are they gonna nuke everybody? You know, like a sort of true or false kind of Q&A, in my opinion, kind of thing. So I might make that as well. What are your favorite types of videos on the main channel? Please pick 2 only. Now this result is why I started going back to comedy sketch vlogs this year. Like, you might have noticed, apart from like last week, because I was in Orlando, I have tried to upload a comedy sketch vlog every week. Or not always comedy sketch vlogs, but a lot more of them. 52% of people said their favourite videos on my main channel are the comedy vlog ones, where I do like the cutaways and dress up as different people, etc. Like, that's their favourite. 42.9% of people said their second favourite is Q&As and Ask Emmas and stuff, which is why I've also started doing like a monthly Q&A video. So I am listening. There was a purpose to this survey. And 42% of people also said, I know this doesn't add up, but it's because people chose 2 of each. 42% of people said microphone videos. So the ones where I'm in there talking, you know, into a microphone. So that was really encouraging for me, because I was worried that people hated them, but they didn't, which is really nice. 20.2% of people said Feel Good 101 videos are their favourite. Well, you got a treat coming for you in September, haven't you? 19.7% of people said music videos, and 19.5% of people said collaborations with Nerdcubed, which is quite funny, seeing as I now have like a dedicated weekly video to collaboration with Nerdcubed, when that was the least popular result. Well done, Emma. Most people wanted me to upload on a Friday, which is 43.7% of the result, which is why I upload on Fridays now. Wednesdays were pretty popular, but I just thought Wednesday was a good day to just put demo out, you know, so 31.6% of people said Monday, so I thought Monday is a good time for a vlog. You know, why not? So in an ideal world where I'm on my A game and I'm energized and I'm not putting energy into other things, which I do have to do occasionally, like music, etc., I am trying to upload like 3 times a week. It's tough. It's not always going to happen. There is at least a demo video every week. I can guarantee that. And most of the time there is another video, either a vlog or a sketch vlog or something. I'm trying to do 3 a week. It's not going to happen every week, but I'm trying. The most popular video on this channel for people is the I am sexually confused video. I don't really know why, because it's just talking about me. It's not really an advice video, but 33% of people said that was their favourite video on this channel. So glad I entertained you with my confusion and inner turmoil, I guess. What would you like to see more of on Vloggery? 71.1% of people said videos about my life, like personal videos about me. So that's what this channel is, I guess, just talking about stuff that I enjoy, things I've been doing, and, you know. You're welcome. 34.8% of people said they would like to see North Korea videos on here. Well, your wish will be granted eventually, I'm sure. 39.1% of people said their favourite series on the gaming channel was The Sims 4. That makes sense, because it's a very easy game to get into. What kind of Emma Blackery merch would you buy? 34.5% of you said none. Well, F you too. It's okay if you don't have the money, that's okay. But this is a question of what merch would you buy, you know? But a third of you chose to just, I don't want any of your merch because I'm too cool. But 39.8% of people, the majority, said t-shirts. So I need to get some new designs up, girl. 31.5% of you said hoodies. Oh, you little emos. 22.8% of people would buy wristbands, which is so interesting to me, because I swear people stopped buying wristbands like years ago. I swear they stopped being popular back in like 2014. Guess not. What's your opinion on the current Emma Blackery merch? most people, 47.7% of people said, I'm not interested in merch in general. That's understandable. You got a budget, you know, merch doesn't interest you. Totally cool, totally get it. But also, on the other hand, buy my merch. 32.9% of people said, I want it, but I can't afford it. I hope that things get better for you, for me, and for you. Because then you can wear some super cool gear. Which statement best describes you? The majority of people said, wow, I watch every video you make, main channel and second channel, and that's 37% of people. Thank you so much. 35% of people said, I watch every video you make, main channel only. 13.9% of people said, I watch every video you make on all 3 channels. So those people are very sweet. Now on the main channel, 44.8% of people said, I watch every video you make on the main channel. 31.2% of people said, I used to watch every video, now I watch most of them. 15% of people said, I used to watch every video, now I watch a few of them. Ooh, what did I do? 5.9% of people said, I used to watch a few videos, now I watch every video. I got better to 6% of people. 204 people said, I used to watch every video, now I only watch your second channel. What's up, 204 people? 263% of, not percent, whoa. 263 people, so only 1%, so this is fine, said, I used to watch every video, now I'm unsubscribed. Oh, now I'm sad. If you found yourself watching less than you used to, why? 41.8% of people who answered that question said, I don't watch YouTube as often anymore, and I think that's completely true. Even I don't watch YouTube as often as I used to. I think for all of the people complaining about views and sub boxes, etc., we need to just accept that our audience is getting older. They're more busy now, they don't have as much time, and also it's not a new thing to them now. You know, we're not the brand new flashy, oh my god, I love this person. We are old news. That happens. We need to just accept that people just outgrow YouTube. It's not a new shiny thing they can distract themselves with anymore, and that's okay. The problem is when YouTube doesn't recommend new people to your channel. So you're losing people who are growing out of it, but you're not bringing in the people who, you know, haven't found you. And that's why people get upset. That's why YouTubers get upset, because the algorithm is not promoting us to new people. 18.4% of people said, I grew out of your content. 13.1% of people said your content changed too much. 3% of people said your personality annoyed me. That's understandable. And this one, is which statement best describes how you feel about sponsored videos. 52.3% of people said, I watch sponsored videos if they look interesting. So YouTubers, it's okay to make sponsored videos, just don't make them rubbish. That's the solution. And 43.9% of people said, I watch all videos, sponsored videos included. Thank you for doing that, because the view counts on my sponsor videos go to like sponsors, and then we can say like, look, the majority of people still watch it even though it's a spawn, and it helps me be able to live. You know, I know that, you know, I'm basically an internet beggar, but it helps, and you know, it costs you nothing really than just a click, and then you can just click away if you need to. But if you really hate being sold to, I also understand that. Like the 3.1% of people who said, I do not watch sponsored videos. I do not like to be sold to. How dare you use me as a way of you earning a living, you bastard. But no, I do get it. Like, sometimes spawns can get really annoying, especially when it's for the same gaming app and it's all down your sub feed. I get it. But still, I really appreciate that feedback. That is pretty much it, because the rest of them were like text boxes. So I'm glad that I finally shared this with you. I hope that you found it interesting. Never ask me about the survey results ever again, because I'll just link you this video. And I learned a lot about you. You were all teenagers, poor students. Sorry about that. Buy my merch though.